What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about a few words, because this all has to do with the conscience. And it sure does. It has to do with letters. Letters are symbols. Letters and words have power, big time power. You know, but when we're looking at like an impression, all right, if we're looking at an impression, we look deeper than what you've been given. So, definition of impression.
Here's the definition of impression: an idea, feeling, or opinion about something or someone, especially one formed without conscious thought or on the basis of little evidence.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So even that says formed without conscience, thought, or on the basis of little evidence. So what we're given, okay, this is one way that I'm trying to show you the easiest way to see it. All right. All this has been an impression or impressions our entire lives. What you see right here is the same in the movies as it is in the books in the schools, as it is in Hollywood, period. There is career after career after career, which not a ton, but there's still a lot. Okay? But what is that? What's that other than just chains that you see and hear and just pure racism, I guess. It's it. Because truthfully, anybody that's been in power, they're not going to lose that power. That's never going to happen. So what we have is an impression. Because you're given this, that they were branded, as they were, still are. And that's a mark. It's a sign. It's a symbol. The same as all these letters. Every letter in the alphabet has hidden meaning. So all this right here has been an impression. So if we have, and I'm not saying yay or nay, I'm just showing you this has been your impression of how this is through TV and all that. Movie stars getting out there, you know, documentaries, God knows. So this has been the impression of an individual. And truthfully, it has to do with their soul and their spirit, but that's a whole other thing. And this is our whole proof. When we bring this into your world, to where this is all you know, and we're telling you that this right here is who you are. That's the real definition of this. Because you've got a commerce birth certificate in Department of Agriculture. It's documented, registered, numbered. That's what you are. By definition, the surname is the last name. It's above and beyond the Christian name, which is the first name. In Scripture, it says you can't worship two masters, and we worship the last name. We obey it. That's the trick. You know, and one of the easiest ways, the other day I went to one of these big shrubbery or tree landscaping places, and I was looking for some cherry laurel cherries, whatever, and something else. Was it a willow? I don't remember. But anyways, I get to talk to one of the guys. He's young, you know, he's very well educated in the world, and his wife, which they've already been through school, and he's not decided what he wants to do, and I can't remember what it was, but I remember what she's into, and it's into this. history, and she's fixing to go to Yale or Harvard. I can't fucking remember. This is in Chattanooga. So, of course, it makes sense. It's a hippie place, which I just pick fun at that because I like that word. You know, because very intellectual beings, you know, that absorb whatever's in the books. Well, what it is, he said, well, she's into like museum stuff. So it ain't just something small, and which I was like, oh, I'm all ears, because anything museum comes from mosaic, which comes from that up there. But anyways, he said that, you know, she was wanting to create more of hands-on, like with chains, to where when people, they get to hold the chains, and so they get to literally touch the DNA. And I'm like, brother, hold up, but that's just chains. That doesn't tell me any fucking thing. That tells me absolutely zero. That's just a set of fucking chains. And see, this means labor. That's what that means. And that's why women go into labor. Because the women don't even know that the baby is, you know, the ship comes into dock, DOC, at its birth, BERTH, because it's birthing cargo from the water canal. The woman goes to the doctor to give birth, BIRTH, because it's spitting out cargo. Right when that baby comes out, they're separated, so there goes the connection. Every structure should be designed to where they don't separate the mother and the baby, ever. And that's what they do. The babies go to the ship, or to the warehouse, which is the waiting room. That's the warehouse for all the little babies, the cargo. And the ship cargo gets off and goes to the warehouse, the waiting room. And then it ain't long until they're going to get scooped up and then taken out with the same serial numbers, the same taxes and everything. And they're going to make corporations a ton of fucking money. That's what I've told y'all. You can't look at these fucking dummies as humans. You can't do it. They're just product. The fucking hospitals are the ships. They are, and so is the courtrooms. They're ships. It's on the high seas. It's deep shit. But see, this individual, this is our demonic nature, because all this is black magic. To create this, see, the impression of all this, and the one that believes in all that, won't go. They cannot allow another impression into the world of, no, this doesn't mean that, Matt. Well, then we couldn't do this, and this. And it's like, then what? It's like you don't understand. The impression you've had your whole life is that this is what you're supposed to fucking have. And then this is there to guide you. Because you're not fucking real, you're just this. That's the same thing. And the impression of this over and over. See, you can't allow another impression in that goes against that impulse, which is fucking programmed. Boom, boom, boom. You can't do it. You're not geared. That's what we're saying. Even Scripture says that not everybody's of God. Dude, listen. It doesn't matter if you're against it or not. You need to read it. Because for one, God does love you. And for two, you never have been given. There's 7 ways to interpret it. Yeah. That's insane, ain't it? But our little brains, we can't fathom that. We can't fathom. It's like, well, but you don't understand. Well, we can't comprehend all this is going into our brains. Like, I can see it, and I'm sure you can too. Like, it's just going in. When used to, it was all that and everything just running through them. So it's just like somebody speaking 7 languages. Somebody, 7 different ways that but we only know one, and it's washed up. So, and that's another thing too, the washed up impression, of Christianity and all religions now is they've got all the religions now to where they got them all working, and now you can go worship your God. So you see what I mean? They obey that system. It's insane for any one person to believe in and to not question that or anything, but then again, it's the impressions. When it's wartime, they put out dolls or soldiers, little soldiers, and the impression on the child with pictures everywhere and then seeing it on the news. We got to get them. We got to fight. The impression, and the percentage of them, depending on how much is surrounding them, going into them with their eyes and ears. The impression and the impulses is going to, and their senses is going to be created around going and doing what that's guiding them to do. And then if anything foreign comes into that impression older in life, they just dismiss it. This is a battery. That's what that is. You get to that young, and it's easy to do what they've done now. And truthfully, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible, because like with head doctor careers and shit, listen, if you study body cam footage, if the young ones are getting handcuffed and thrown in the back of the police car, they actually think that they can get their cell phones. And then if they don't get their cell phones and get their way, they turn into this little demonic demon. These are literally grown adults now, in their 30s too. Hell, some's in their 40s. That's impulses right there. Do you see what I mean? We're starting to learn big time shit. But big time thinkers can't think of this because the memorizers, no, that's not in our career right there. It's like, it's in there in a way. But the whole thing is when you create the character and the will of the child around shit like this, it doesn't matter what it is in cartoons, then it's just going to be mush. There's going to be no thinking in there. There's no activating that into doing what it's supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? This is crazy. They're spit out now and there you go. You can't see that. You can't see what that's doing to the occipital lobe and the sensorium organ, the faculties and senses, the imagination and the memory growing together. What's in here? Coming in there. You're an ignorant damn person to not see that. You're not even human like Scripture says. It's like real quick. My lumbar region has been out of whack for a while, and it's almost bone on bone. But before going to the chiropractor, because that's as natural as you can get, I started loading up on silica. That's the tissue, the bone tissue that surrounds the bone. It has to do with salts. Calcium fluoride because it has a little to do with the bones. Calcium phosphate because it has to do with the bones. And kali sulfate, which has to do with the distribution of oil from the sacral up to the spine, up into the brain and back down. And taking those back to back, while he's adjusting and getting all that, it's literally in 3 adjustments. Because I know they pretty blown away, but from what I've just said a little bit of, but they don't understand that I'm building what's inside of me. See, that industry doesn't have that. All they have is just come here, we'll adjust you, that's it. Well, don't we need to build all that shit, all that stuff in between all that? Because we can. See, people don't know that. You know, and the thing is when you don't know that, guess what? Then you build industry, and then they have to buy all these supplies from the people who created the fucking industry. So, but, you know, impressions, impulses, they're very serious when it comes to this this black magic, because the character in the wheel, which is the astral and the ether body, it's your spirit and your soul. You know, it's like when you're told somebody died or something, your chest caves in, that's being compressed. That's your soul. That's the unseen that you don't know of being compressed. It's being compressed, okay? Because it has to do with your ego and your lower brain as well. It has a lot to do with everything. And see, they don't want you to know that. They'll just say, well, that's just how you feel that way. No, it's not. It's the fucking soul of you compressing matter, material. Because the connection's gone. See, people don't even fucking believe that shit. And it's like, God almighty. The same way all this fruit and all this stuff has vines and it's connected to it, well, you are too right here. And when this ceases, it snaps. And yeah, but when you don't know that, then you just here. You're just here to go consume that society. Go build that motherfucker. You go consume everything in there. It's like with sage. I didn't realize it was going to burn so much, but it's good for you. You know what people will tell you? That's satanic. Is it? You want to learn about impressions? Because I can tell you about them. I can tell you that, you know, when the impression of that is you're brought up not around herbs at all. Even in schools, nothing. So as a child, the impression is they're not there, so that means they're useless. We don't need those. Who gives a shit about those? You see what I mean? So the impression has been built around, you know, inside, learning inside, staying inside, paint on the walls, the vibrations of that, the hallways, the ding, all man-made impressions. Just imprisoning the whole cavity. I mean, even the cells, all of it, every fucking bit of it, all of it. And then you go through each day and you'll have pizza day and taco day and burger day and whatever day. And what it is they're getting you ready for that society out there. You're a product. So they got to get you ready, give you some coupons. You can go out there, take your family. There you go. There you go. And then you graduate into the fucking biggest system ever devised. That your boy can just see so fucking clearly. It just eats me up. It's easy. But we're not even talking about the fucking scene anymore. That's what we're saying is you're dealing with, you know, impulses and impressions, which have to do with, you know, has to do with dark art, sorcery, and the nervous system. You know, the main thing that in black magic and gray magic, you know, it's all about controlling the nervous system, because without you know it or not, they got to get you out of the mainstream of things, which would be the magnetic field. So if they divert you from this magnetic field and put you into their field, then they're putting you under black magic, under spells and hexes, disconnecting you through rubber and potions and pills and chemicals and gadgets and all this other shit. It's very ingenious. So all those impressions that are just so wrong, they won't give them up. And those impressions are built around taste buds, hearing, the impression of dateline, you know, that sound and tone, it tells the brain it's an impulse to get ready. Whatever's transmitting, I'm receiving, and it is fucking real. I've seen it every day. So that impression, you know, them wearing costumes and all that shit, you can tell them it's like, that's not real. They're the most honest people in the world. And you're dealing with an Ahrimanic unseen demon that can't That's the connection that these people that control us, they control you through all their channels, so to speak. So any channel that we have, it doesn't matter if I'm in there watching body cams, I'm watching a channel. It's still not meant for these eyes, but that's the impulses that this human species that has been created around is the AI. We're created to morph into it. So, all right, I love you.